Hey guys, what's up? It's Dom here, and today in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the $92,175.86 mistake that I made that cost me probably that much. So let's get into it. So when I started my business, I was making websites, and it was very exciting for me. And it was just really the beginning, selling very low ticket websites. $33 a month, $50 a month, whatever. Very, very low ticket stuff, right? Nothing too crazy. And I did that for months and months and months as a young lad, as a teenager. And I kind of figured, me and Caden had been talking, for a while. When you go 6 months straight without making any sort of money in business, you talk to each other about it. And we went a while and it wasn't too successful, even though client relations was like the focal point of our businesses. Everybody loved working with us. Everybody loved our service, and for the price point, it was unbeatable. Our clients stayed with us. We still have the majority of those clients to this day, and pretty much everybody I met in the beginning of my stages. Somewhere along the road, me and Caden, he had already known about SMMA. I didn't even know what it was, man. I'm truly just like a brute guy. I just get in and do whatever the fuck it is. I don't really, always know. And in between that path of making a couple $100 a month to, eventually hitting my first 10K per month as an entrepreneur, hitting my first 25K a month as an entrepreneur, hitting 30K per month, now maintaining my agency as I grow my passion project, which is mentoring and coaching people. There was a point in time where that service delivery aspect of things had kind of gone downhill. Service delivery, if we're going to look at it as from an analogy of how do you create this crazy business, right? If you want to create the most insane business, the most successful business, any successful business for that matter, 99.999% of the time, pretty much all the time, what it revolves around is having people that stay for a long time and spend the most amount of money, invest the most amount of money. And so in business, there's 3 things you need to do to make any sort of profit. You need to get people to the door, through the door, and make them stay the fuck there, right? Excuse my French. Apologies for cursing. And now, getting people to the door, that's marketing. Caden is a fantastic marketer. I mean, start to finish, the guy is insane with it. He's always been a tech genius, and, that's just how we got really good at it. Where, he was good for marketing for us and everything like that. Now, getting people through the door is sales. I have a 40% close rate on, some newer months. I've hit almost, more than that too, right? 40% is just kind of my benchmark because I haven't consistently hit 50% yet. And now that's high ticket, multi-$1,000 deals. Now, making people stay, on the other hand, that was our issue. There was a point in time where I actually closed $25,000 of new deals, right? Or excuse me, $24,000 of new deals, and that was my first 25K a month. And I had basically put myself in this position where I had to deliver on my services. But the way we set it up was that although we were delivering an efficacious amount of leads, we really had no systems beyond that for our clients. And so if you guys know anything about the people we were working with, not everybody is an amazing closer. And so we'd give these leads, whether warm or not, out to them. And we just kind of, expect that they'd close them, right? So I wasn't really texting my clients that often. I wasn't calling them. I wasn't really even checking their ads because, me and Caden just would kind of leave it up, and we would have automation set up. So if something wrong went, we'd be like, oh, we got to fix this. But, we were delivering 10, 20, 30 leads to people, and they weren't closing. And so throughout that time, me and Caden got very, I don't want to say depressed because it wasn't depressing, right? But it was upsetting because we signed these guys with the hope of changing their lives truly, and we just couldn't do it. No matter how many leads we brought them. And just retrospectively, we had such a low retention off of our clients. And then one day, I'm actually in this call with somebody, shout out my boy, his name's Carol. And now me and Carol were at a very similar spot. He was at somewhere around, 20K or plus or minus that. And it was a little bit after I hit my first 25K month. And we were talking and just kind of going back and forth about things. And I was like, yeah, I love marketing, but it's just so hard. It's because like people can't close the deals, and no one really stays. And he's like, what do you mean? And I intrigued. I perk up a little bit. I'm like, what do you mean people stay with you? He's like, dude, I don't do any work for my clients. All I do is he lists like 3 simple things. He texts his clients, he calls them every week, once a week, and he checks their ads every day and gives them updates and is very proactive. And I realized that although his service delivery, very fucking amazing service delivery by Carol, it wasn't too different from like mine in the sense, and me and Kane's in the sense of like delivering, much leads. So what was the overall issue? What is the issue that allowed me for 6+ months to not actually maintain any clients? Well, it was all around the service delivery. What we did was we hired someone who was really good. He taught us everything about it, and he now controls that, number one. So what we thought was really good leads, they were decent, but he took that and took it from here to here, all the way off the screen. You can't even see it. And I started, me and Caden, texting our clients every day, sending them memes, building a real bond with these people. And since then, I've been able to maintain my agency and actually change those people's lives and, deliver on, generating clients hundreds of thousands of dollars of revenue, right? While I make a couple thousand a month, right? Anywhere in between 1 to 2K per client, give or take, plus or minus, right? And I maintain those guys. It doesn't take me that long. It's so efficacious for them. It's so amazing for them and so amazing for me. And I don't stress anymore. When I hit 25K for the first time, when I hit 30K for the first time, me and Caden were working 60, 70 hours a week, just burning through leads, just, calling everybody in the book. And literally there was one simple switch, and it was just mastering service delivery. And now that we've mastered service delivery, we've understood that that is the most foundational way to grow a business. And so this is the problem that most people, you guys watching this video, encounter, is that maybe you started an AI agency, or maybe you're intrigued in an AI agency or SMA, whatever you're intrigued in, or whatever you've tried or whatever you're doing, you guys just don't master the service delivery, fast enough. And once I did, my life became tremendously better. Even with my mentorship right now, my number one priority is always over delivering on such an amazing service. Like putting the price point out there and just, this is the price, this is the value. And that is my foundational core piece. And, the most important part to my business is my service delivery. That is the one core focus. It's almost like when we go back in the story when I was talking about when I first started to now, it's came full circle, right? I started off like that. Somewhere in the middle, I lost it, me and Caden. And at the end, I finally realized that, hey, listen, slower business growth, but building recurring revenue, having clients that stay with you, that love your product, love your service. When your head hits that pillow at night, it feels amazing. It really does. It feels different. It is so much different. I would trade all the money in the world just to have that feeling for the rest of my life. So I'm gonna pull up my Miro board right here, and in about 5 to 10 minutes, I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I do for service delivery, the 3 core principles, and everything you'll need to know so you don't waste almost 100 grand, because I would have been at 50K per month or maybe even 100K per month by now if I understood these core principles of how to deliver an excellent service in AI agency. So let's pan over. All right, and here's 3 simple steps to not make the same 92K mistake that I made that I was referencing earlier in the video. So number 1, for all of your clients in AI agency, in SMMA, in whatever business online that you may be running, send text to your clients almost every day, and keyword being proactive. So what do I mean by this? Well, so for my AI agency, I always send my clients a text, almost every day, right? Maybe every other day, just on occasion. I'm not just sending them every once in a while. I'm not just sending them this week, next week, etc. I'm sending these texts almost every single day. And for the people that I help, the people that I coach, I'm very proactive. If someone's not joining the meetings, I go, hey man, you haven't been joining the meetings. In my agency, if someone's not calling the leads, hey man, you haven't been calling the leads, you haven't been hitting the leads. We want to be very proactive in that sense on their end. And then also the most important thing is holding ourselves to the standard, holding ourselves to be accountable people, putting accountability not on them, but on us first, so we can put it on them, So that's looking at the ads, making sure the cost per lead is good, texting them, hey, is the quality good? Is there anything we can do about that? Maybe we might expand the radius, close the radius, depending on what they need, depending on what we have seen as professionals and with our clients' input. A lot of the times I'll send messages to the people I mentor almost every single day, or, just they're going to hear from me every day, whether in the group chat or whether outside of that. And that could be voice memos, that could be, text and everything like that. I'll send them memes occasionally to both groups. So the biggest thing I learned is just like, you really talk to these people, text them every once in a while. My God, they'll stay because you have a connection. You build a friendship. And it shows that you care, and it shows that they can trust their hard-earned dollars with you because you're going to take care of it. And that's the biggest thing I could give advice on is show them that you're proactive so that when they give their money to you, they don't have to stress anymore. That's the whole reason they're giving you money. Not to get leads, not to get jobs, but more so the feeling they get from relief. That feeling of relief, like something heavy lifted off your chest. And by texting them every day and being proactive and making changes, you deliver that. The second thing, this isn't that complicated, guys. This is a super simple thing that almost no one does, right? A very simple framework to follow is to build a genuine relationship and have an actual call with these guys. I have a group call with my guys every single week in my mentorship, sometimes two, occasionally, three. I personally have one, my partner has one, we'll sometimes have a third. And it's based around just improving their businesses. On the flip side of the coin, I call my clients almost, pretty much every week, right? My mentorship clients I talk to a lot, and my agency clients I call at least once a week. Sometimes I just call them up and talk about business, and I ask how they're doing, and I really show that I care. And it comes back to what I was talking about previously, but like, just build a real relationship with these people. They will stay. If you have a $10,000 result for a client, and you have a $10,000 result for another client, but with client A, you didn't text them, you didn't call them, you didn't tell them what was going on, you left them in the dark, versus client, and you set expectations wrong, versus client B, if you set expectations correctly, told them when to expect results, how much, what it's going to be like, you text them every day, how are the leads, how are the jobs, how's everything going, you really care about them, you put that effort forth, and you take it out of their hands, client B is going to be substantially more happy with the same result. So it's that basic that we focus so much on delivering results. Well, I was delivering results, but I didn't have client retention because of those factors. And because I was proactive when problems would happen, a client would call me, which is a huge mistake. So in this case, since then, I've never had a singular issue that wasn't already handled by me before the client even recognized it. And the same thing with the guys that I coach is I'm very proactive. I'm asking them every single time. Like I talk to them, like, what are some bottlenecks we have? What could we fix? What could you improve upon to actually gain more money? And the biggest thing around that is just I have a relationship with them because I actually fucking care. And you'd be surprised how fucking caring in this world will deliver you and put you so much further above and beyond any of these other marketers or coaches. And that moves me into my next point is build a home for your clients to stay in. This is from one of my the people I mentor, right? I'm actually rooting for you guys. I can tell you guys are genuine. Speaking with Dom was crazy. Never had this much value given to me. Y'all actually care. You guys want to make money, of course. I'm not Mother Teresa, neither are you. But I can see the difference between you and others selling courses or programs. What you're doing is smart. 100K per month, monthly recurring revenue soon, I have no doubt. And really just, guys, actually delivering. This is an example from my agency. This is my mentorship. This is my agency. One of our clients passed 100K in revenue generated in our time together, and we've had that since. And so that's what we're really fostering is delivering amazing results. But with this guy, we were very proactive. We've delivered similar results in the past, but the problem being is that we weren't really proactive. We, let problems arise, and it's all about how you actually feel, the customer experience. When you go to two restaurants, restaurant A, restaurant B, restaurant A, same food, restaurant B, same food. But on restaurant A, it's delivered fast. They refill your water without even asking. They give you bread. There's nice music playing. No one's loud, anything like that. Versus, B, you have to ask 2-3 times for some water. You asked for an entree, didn't come out, right? And then it comes out, and it's still the same food, right? The music is bad. There's a bunch of people screaming. The service was rude. These two experiences, this business B that had a terrible experience with you, they will make however much you paid for that meal.
Let's just say 50 bucks. Restaurant A, they're going to make that 50 bucks. And then guess what? You're going to talk about that to your friends. And now what? Well, they've made 200 bucks because you had 3 of your friends come with you. And now what? They've made 800 bucks because you guys went 4 times. And now what? They've made thousands and thousands and thousands every single year from you guys because you guys just love it so much and you kept telling more friends. And so it's not so much important about delivering the results. Yes, you have to, but it's how the results are framed. I even had a client that was breaking even for a while, and he was so happy with our service just because I always took care of everything. I was always proactive, and I was always helping him out and saying like, "Hey, man, listen, like worst case scenario, we'll run the ads for free, make you profitable, because that's how much I love you." You know what I mean? And that guy, he started crushing it. He started closing job after job after job after job after job, and it was because he trusted the process, because I was proactive and I explained him the process. I set those expectations correctly. So if you want the three simple things, guys, it's have an actual service that is good and build a home, not an apartment, not somewhere, or not even an apartment, so to speak, not a motel, not somewhere, not, you don't want to make it feel like they're just there to stay for a little bit and then go. You want them to be there forever. Build a home, right? Build the lifetime home that they've been dreaming of. Build an actual relationship and, just talk to them every day, right? Be proactive about these things. And that's really the simple thing that, upon reflection, upon making 92 grand in that time frame, if I had just delivered the service that I deliver now, then I would have made easily double my money. Easily, 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 easily. And quite in fact, I'd be making over double what I'm making now, far more even. So if you guys want to learn, well, how do I actually deliver a good service? How do I install these systems into my business? I do have a mentorship going on right now, and it is super sick. And I'll let this guy speak for me.